Coming up, a heated confrontation with ICE on Chicago's East Side. A new twist involving an ICE officer accused of shooting a woman in Chicago. 2 people shot at a suburban Walmart. Plus, the Bears get ready to take on the Saints. Unearthing a hidden cemetery. And a record-breaking soccer player in Illinois. This is your Fox 32 Week in Review.
The confrontation between the ICE agents and residents, it quickly escalated on the city's east side, and this is where it all began. The first video we obtained shows ICE agents pursuing a man. This is near 106th Street and South Ewing Avenue shortly after 10 this morning. He was eventually detained. Just steps away, agents were also caught on camera chasing individuals down the aisles inside the nearby Walgreens. Now, this is new video that was shared on Citizen just 3 blocks away, showing ICE agents in the white SUV chasing a red SUV in a residential neighborhood, eventually reaching the 105th block of South Avenue N. The chase ended in a crash, and video shows a man being put on a stretcher. The chaos caught the attention of neighbors who began pouring out of their homes. Many of them captured the tense standoff between federal agents and community members. This was all captured on video.
It's only because they took my homie. I don't get no. I don't like y'all ass. Y'all took my homie. And he legal. He was born in the United States.
Well, some of the video you're seeing comes from the Citizen app. Sky Fox captured the moment Chicago police arrived, responding to a crash involving federal agents. That is what they told us. Police say they tried to calm things down, but according to CPD, objects were thrown at the agents, and that's when tear gas was deployed. We also saw a video of 2 men being detained there by ICE. State Senator Robert Peters, who represents the 13th district, where all of this unfolded, took time away from Springfield to address the situation.
The community came out and in a show of force and solidarity. This wasn't something where it was like organizations. It was literally just a community that has this history, came out in force to basically let ICE or CBP know that they are not invited in this community to engage in abducting their neighbors and their friends and their family. And of course, knowing how Donald Trump's federal government has been acting, instead of just leaving and getting out of the way, they first engage in aggressive tactics. But what they don't understand is the East Side is not necessarily afraid of people.
A witness from the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights describes for us what she encountered on the ground during this hour-long confrontation.
They pulled rifles on bystanders. And this all started because they are basically reckless. They were pursuing somebody and they almost ran over somebody else. And yeah, they just caused all these mayhem in the area. This is also a residential area.
We also learned that 13 Chicago police officers were exposed to tear gas in that incident. CPD sent a long statement that says they were not involved in any federal operations today on the city's east side.
Well, I will say it does look different this morning here on Beach Street in front of the Broadview ICE facility. That 8-foot fence has been taken down, and Illinois State Police squad cars are in its place. As you said, the feds faced a deadline after a judge's ruling ordered the fence down by midnight last night. Here is some video from shortly before midnight of crews getting to work, loading the fence while law enforcement stood guard. The fence came up back on September 23rd. Now it's down exactly 3 weeks later. It has been a symbol of tension between ICE protesters and even the village of Broadview, which wanted it down. Last month, hours after the fencing went up at the facility, a letter went out from Broadview Fire Department to DHS saying in part it was built without permission, a fence on a public street under the jurisdiction of Village of Broadview, end quote. Now back out live, some new concrete barriers are drawing some criticism. IDOT installed them just yesterday. Broadview Mayor Thompson said the barriers are meant to keep protesters safe and to make sure that protesters don't spill out onto the street here in the residential neighborhoods. I will say here this morning there aren't any protesters around closer to the designated protesting zone, but they are standing on the corner. One is dressed as an axolotl, and there's 3 others that are standing by. Illinois State Police has not approached them to remind them about the 9 a.m. start to the designated protesting hours.
Rideshare drivers report there was an ICE sweep here in the parking lot where they wait to pick up air passengers. They've been working together to to alert other drivers if ICE is present. In fact, they just issued an alert, a warning about a white van that is here that they feel is suspicious. A Reddit user allowed us to share this video of federal agents in the rideshare staging lot at O'Hare International. Their vehicles are unmarked, but uniformed agents are seen out of their vehicles approaching the rideshare drivers. One driver sounded in distress. Drivers say they saw people detained, their cars left behind. A driver who did not want to be identified said they've formed a text chain to alert other drivers and are sending money directly to the families impacted.
2 days ago, he's coming, this car, and takes a lot of people. Like they are praying or eating, they don't care, and just, yeah.
And they just grab them?
Yeah.
Where is the sympathy for the people who are legal and their jobs? And they're paying, they're taking care of their family, they're putting food on their table, they're taking care of their house, they're taking care of their cars, they're taking care of theirs. Where is the sympathy for us?
Rideshare drivers say this parking lot is usually packed with other cars. Right now it doesn't seem as crowded, and the drivers who remain say they are getting a lot more work. The Department of Aviation referred all inquiries to the Department of Homeland Security.
New revelations in a federal shooting case. An ICE agent who fired shots in the Brighton Park neighborhood this month drove his work SUV back to Maine. A judge now demanding he return it to Chicago. Tia Ewing has more from the Durson Federal Building.
A stunning twist came out in court. The SUV that's at the center of this investigation was driven over 1,100 miles away, all the way to the state of Maine. And now the big question is, did Miramar Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz ram into ICE agents, or were they merely alerting the public that ICE was coming on October 4th?
Talking to the agents over here, that individual was the lone driver of that vehicle and was part of a caravan that were trying to interrupt ICE operations at the time of this shooting.
That silver SUV is the same one involved in the crash and shooting that left Miramar Martinez, a U.S. citizen, shot 5 times, and the driver, the ICE agent who allegedly pulled the trigger. In court today, the government confirmed the agent's assignment ended in Chicago and he drove the vehicle back to the state of Maine. The judge was visibly frustrated and issued a direct order saying this, quote, "I am directing you to tell the agent to be brought back to Chicago as soon as possible." Martinez's lawyer says the SUV is critical evidence. He wants it inspected, and he's demanding all communications, repairs, and even car washes be preserved immediately.
913, the weapon is still in the purse. The vehicle does have what appears to be first damage on the passenger side, as if it was side struck with another vehicle.
Also being questioned, ICE claimed agents were boxed in and Martinez in the dark gray Nissan was armed. But police radio and body cam footage that only the attorneys have seen reportedly shows something different. Even the press release that was put out to the media detailed some different information. We did learn that Martinez's gun never left her purse. These photos show her SUV was hit on the passenger side, and the other man involved in the crash, Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz, his black SUV was damaged in the front, and the ICE vehicle only minor damage. Even more troubling, Homeland Security told media the encounter happened in Broadview, but new records show Martinez was in Brighton Park, alerting residents to ICE patrols. This case is raising big questions about use of force, federal accountability, and now possible evidence mishandling. A trial date could be set as early as Monday. This is a case that we will be following every step of the way.
I had to cover my ear there because it's gotten a lot more loud here in the last 10 minutes. We're on Beach Street in Broadview. Remember, protesters are not about to go over the 25th anymore because an executive order from the Broadview Mayor, Katrina Thompson, is now allowing or making them just come to the designated free speech zone around the front of the Broadview ICE facility. I'm gonna step out of the way so you can see some of this crowd. Again, we're apologize. We're making sure that there's no profanity that gets on our airwaves here, but I want to show you some of this unrest that's starting. A lot of just yelling back and forth with state police here who are, and Broadview police who are protecting, of course, the the front of the ICE facility here. Remember that fence had surrounded the front of the building and is now gone. As we reported, a judge ruled that it be taken down after the village had sued, saying it bars emergency vehicles from getting in. We're watching this morning to see if these protesters get closer to where that fence was. Right now, we have state police that are there. The free speech zone, it's kind of surrounded by some concrete barriers that are around, and they might attempt to go a little bit closer. State police actually reached out to us this morning asking us to remind demonstrators at home that even though the fence is gone, the protest zone is still enforced and that they will not be allowed to get any closer. We've seen protesters shoot away as they try to get a little bit closer to that fence. No arrests or citations have been made that we've seen. But I did speak to one protester who says he's been here since the first Friday that we saw an arrest. He doesn't like the thought that state police and Broadview police are the ones who are facing the demonstrators instead of ICE. Here's what he had to say.
The fact they're having state police doing the dirty work of ICE DHS agents and pushing us back and keeping us away from them is frustrating. It frustrates me so much to see ICE DHS agents getting paid on the clock to sit around while state police are pushing back their own citizens, pushing back their own people that are here. Now we have other National Guard members coming here.
What? All right, so as you're seeing, it looks like Broadview police are keeping demonstrators off of Beach Street here and closer to that free speech zone. Sorry, we have a bunch of press right next to us, so it's blocking your view a little bit. Again, no arrests or citations have been made, but we're trying our best to get you a good view. Again, a lot of news cameras here and such. 25th is off limits for protesting. They have a bunch of concrete barriers there as well, so this area is going to be much more busy today. I'm going to gather some more information, try to get a closer look here in front of the press, and come back to you here very soon. But Natalie and Anthony, I'll send it to you.
All right, stay safe. Thanks so much, Gabby.
There were people in a car with the suspect before the shooting started. They are being questioned by Evergreen Park police along with the alleged shooter. Police believe this was a conflict between two people who knew each other, but a 70-year-old woman also was injured.
Fire at 2500 West 95th Street. The Walmart company stood to respond with ambulances off Bedford Park Station 2.
The call of shots fired came in about 3 p.m. when the store was full of shoppers. When police got here, a 70-year-old woman was on the ground.
The other one is going to be in the north side of the parking lot. 34 is coming.
Police say the shooter arrived in a gray Hyundai, got out and chased a 23-year-old man into Walmart, firing multiple times at the man. The woman was hit in the foot. She was taken to Little Company of Mary Hospital in good condition. But the 23-year-old male victim was shot 5 times in the leg.
The person that was shot in the leg had a severe blood loss, was treated by officers and ambulance on the scene, and then transported to Christ Hospital.
Police say the offender dropped his weapon and ran out a back door into an Evergreen Park neighborhood. Security at the store helped identify the suspect. He was wearing the same clothing as seen when he was in the store.
The offender ran out through the back door of the store over here, yes, and did go into the neighborhood, but he was arrested within a short period of time after that. We flooded the area with police, and we did have a drone up there that saw him in a yard, and a resident did call it in.
There were other people in the offender's car. It was pulled over on Chicago's south side. The occupants are being questioned. And police say with multiple shots fired inside a store, it could have been a lot worse. The male victim is in surgery at Advocate Christ Medical Center. Police want to talk about it.
Coming up, the Bears get set to make it 4 in a row. Violent group targeting teens online. And a proposal to put a tariff on certain movies.
Well, on Sunday, the Bears have a chance to win 4 straight for the first time since 2018. That was a long time ago. Standing in their way are the New Orleans Saints. We're joined by, of course, Lou Canellis for a preview this morning. How you doing, Lou?
What's going on, Brian?
Doing well. Don't be better doing with the Bears win on Sunday. Now, Saints are 1-5. One of the worst teams in the NFL so far this season. Bears are obviously the favorites to win this one at home. So what has Ben Johnson done this week to make sure that this doesn't fall into a trap game?
Well, don't tell Ben Johnson that this potentially could be a trap game. He said, what's a trap game? All right, he expects his team to treat this game as if they're playing the Eagles or the Chiefs or the Bills in the NFL. Forget that the Saints are 1-5. Guys, they have played teams tough this year. It's a veteran squad going on the road, knows what it takes to win. And I've been watching Mike Kaplan all morning long since 6 a.m., begging for Mike to tell me that the rain will be out. But even if the rain is out, I'm a little worried about the winds. And when you've got 30-mile-per-hour winds inside Soldier Field, anything can happen. Especially on that defensive side of the ball. Bears, they've been thriving, taking the ball away. But one of the things that the Saints does best is protecting the football. They're +4 on the season so far. So what is Dennis Allen planning for his former team? Well, the Bears right now are second in the NFL in takeaways, 11 over the last 3 games. Dennis Allen really works on this. We'll have a chance to hear from Manti Te'o, the former linebacker in the NFL who also played at Notre Dame. I'm going to talk to Manti later today on Chicago Sports Tonight on Fox Plus, or Fox Chicago's streaming channel, and also Fox 32 later tonight. But Manti told me before we got into the discussion, because he played for Dennis Allen in New Orleans. You know, Allen spent 15 of his 24 years coaching in the NFL with the Saints, and he said that Dennis Allen makes it a point to make sure his defense is practicing going out and getting takeaways. So this isn't just luck that's happened with the Bears the last 3 games. This is a team, much like Lovie Smith used to do with the Bears defensively. This is a Bears team that is actually working, practicing on taking the football away, and it's worked during games. One thing we saw on Monday night, Bears offensive line and running game looked a whole lot better than it did before the bye. But DeAndre Swift has a groin injury. Just how concerned are you about his availability come Sunday? I'm a little worried. That just popped up yesterday. He was limited in practice yesterday, popped up on the injury list, but he's popped up on the injury list 2 other times so far this season. So Swift is a guy
at some point or something.
Yeah, so Swift is a guy who, despite the injury, wants to be on the football field, as you touched on. I think he's coming off his best game as a Bear in his 2 seasons here in Chicago. We know what he did with the big run, the 15-yard run, setting up Jake Moody's game-winning field goal. And we also saw him catch that screen pass and take off 55 yards as well. Listen, Ben Johnson has changed the culture at Hallis Hall, where players, even through injury, want to play. As long as Swift can run, he'll be out there. Let's say he's not out there. How do you think that changes the game plan? Well, it's a problem. Yeah. It's a problem. It really is, because I'm not going to sit and, try to fool our audience out there and tell you that Roschon Johnson or Kyle Monangai, who's a rookie, who was picked in the 7th round, who doesn't have that burst of speed like Swift. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Bears are, in no different situation if Swift doesn't play. If Swift doesn't play and it's windy out there, which doesn't allow Caleb Williams to throw the football downfield, then the Bears could be in trouble. Any other big injury concerns? Grady Jarrett, any chance he comes back? Yeah, no chance. I mean, it looks like Grady Jarrett, he's missed practice all week, so I wouldn't expect Jarrett to come back. I'm really happy that Darnell Wright didn't pop up on the injury list, because he was terrific last week at right tackle. So no other surprises. But I like the Bears. I know you're going to ask me, where are you going with this game? Course. I'm picking the Bears in this game. I like the Bears to win 24-14. 4 wins in a row. Yeah. We'll be on to something.
If you or someone you love is on the internet, 764 potentially has access to you.
That's the warning from the FBI about what they call a nihilist violent extremist group. 764 is an online collective that engages in heinous acts because its members hate society.
All FBI field offices are working 764 investigations, as are many of our international partners.
Ryan Maxwell is an assistant special agent in charge with the FBI's Chicago field office. Because of the potential harm associated with this group, Maxwell says 764 cases are being investigated by the Bureau's counterterrorism branch instead of its cybercrime unit.
These predators are online on social media sites and gaming apps, and will interact with their victims, begin to establish a relationship, and then eventually groom them into the desired behavior. They utilize coercion, manipulation, and blackmail to extort their victims into creating sexually explicit photos and videos of self-harm, animal cruelty, murder, and even suicide.
Maxwell says 764 tries to create chaos in communities by forcing their victims to initiate swatting or doxing incidents.
They are typically going after juveniles between the ages of 10 and 17, typically females, but anyone can be a victim.
In late August, the FBI arrested a suburban Los Angeles man for possession of child pornography. According to the federal complaint, for the last 3 years, Dong Hwan Kim enticed several underage girls to send them pictures and videos of them engaging in sex acts. The complaint also states Kim engaged in this conduct as part of his participation in an online network known as 764. It says one of the victims contacted authorities to tell them Kim and 2 other individuals ran an online server where they openly posted child pornography and extorted minors to not only get naked, but also write names on their skin, cut themselves, and perform explicit acts.
So for some of these 764 members, some of them are more committed to destruction of society, while others are part of the group for some sort of belonging. There's a satisfaction in obtaining these photos and videos.
Maxwell says the victims often have a hard time coming forward to report what happened to them because they're embarrassed.
They certainly do, but we know and we communicate to potential victims that they did nothing wrong. They are the ones who have been victimized, and the FBI has resources to assist them. We have victim services experts who can help them process their trauma.
Maxwell says it is so important that any victim does speak up, so law enforcement can stop these 764 offenders from harming anyone else.
We really rely on information from victims.
Now, when it comes to the warning signs of online child exploitation, the FBI says it's important to know your child's routines. Look for changes in their behavior or eating and sleeping habits. Also look for changes in their appearance or signs of self-harm. And if you think your child has been exploited by online predators, you can contact the FBI at the numbers listed on the screen.
Next big drama in Hollywood may not play out in the movie theater, but possibly the White House, as President Trump threatened to place a 100% tariff on all foreign-made films. Caroline Elliott is live in Georgia, one of the largest film hubs in the U.S.
Yeah, hi, Terrence. Well, that announcement is just a proposal. So this isn't law or executive order, at least yet. But the idea, Terrence, has a lot of people talking on how the industry could keep more jobs in the U.S.
Fayette County, Georgia is known as the Hollywood of the South. Movies like Spider-Man, No Way Home were shot right here at Trillis Studios. But now some jobs are leaving. In recent weeks, Marvel Studios announced it's moving out of Georgia and relocating to the UK.
Well, Marvel started out in Pinewood in England. They started out there anyway, and then they came here and they were here at Trillis for 11, 12 years doing everything here. Now they're going overseas.
In a Truth Social post, President Trump said film jobs have been stolen from the United States by other countries and said, quote, "It's like stealing candy from a baby." Some in the film industry agree and believe tariffs could help.
He wants to make America great again. He wants to bring the movies back. I mean, Canada alone does hundreds and hundreds of movies per year. If we just got those alone, let alone the hundreds that are going everywhere else, it will be wonderful.
Not everyone agrees, though. Some in the film industry believe all tariffs would do is make movie production more expensive.
You know, the consumer always pays. You know, it's not the companies are not the ones that are going to be harmed the most. And in this case, it would really have to be at the movie theater. You know, I had an example given to me where you would go to a theater and there would be a list of movies on the left that were produced overseas that are $40 each to see, and there would be the ones that are on the right-hand side, done in America, that would be $15.
And Democrats in California have shut down the idea of tariffs, saying, yes, the industry does need help, but all this might do is just really backfire and raise prices.
Color really coming on strong now here at the Morton Arboretum. And in other parts of Chicagoland, we're starting to finally get some little scenes of color, including behind us here at Meadow Lake. Joining me to talk more about the fall foliage season is forest ecology expert. She's a Penn State graduate, not happy with their football team lately. Dr. Christy Rollinson here. Thanks for coming back out here with us, Christy. All right, so let's talk about the color that we're seeing currently. How would you rate it versus years past? Are we on schedule, late? Are we brighter than usual? Are we just zeroed in? What do you think?
Right now, we're kind of right about normal, but we're at the point where the weather can really kind of push us one way or another.
Okay.
In terms of the brightness, it's really something that's hard to quantify because so much of the color is subjective or affected by the weather.
Right.
So there are some things that are maybe not as bright as we would normally expect, but as you're seeing, some of the maples are looking absolutely amazing.
Beautiful. Right now we're over the children's garden here, right?
Yep. So those red maples or Freeman's maples that have been bred to have that reliable, great color, as you can see, they're amazing. There's some ashes in there too that are yellow and orange. And then we've got a lot of trees that have yet to change color, like our oaks. And so
those are always like the last to come out of color.
Those are always among the last. So we'll see what they do. And that's a lot of it's going to depend on the weather we get.
All right. So folks that have trees in their own yard, is there anything they can do now to maybe promote better color, make the color last longer? What do you recommend, Chris?
Yeah, so typically a healthy tree is going to produce great color.
Okay.
So as long as the tree is still green, it is still doing its thing. It's photosynthesizing, which means that watering it and continuing to care for it is going to promote its overall health, as well as give it a better chance for great fall color.
Okay. And if Mother Nature does not come through with the rain that's desperately needed here, do you recommend like the bags that you put around the trunk of the tree, or what's the best way to water the trees? I always go with like a slow soak.
Yes, slow soak. So we want to make sure that it really gets into the soil. So taking a bucket and dumping it on there, most of that's going to run off. So nice, low and slow, kind of like a good barbecue.
Okay.
Let it percolate in. And then making sure to get away from just the base of the tree. So those bags are good for something that's really small, but if you've got a large tree, you want to be watering kind of that whole area out to that, what we call the drip line, the edge of the canopy, or even beyond.
Wonderful. You've got a big event coming up here at the Arboretum. It's Illuminations. When does that start? When can we start buying tickets?
So the public can start buying tickets tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay.
The event itself begins November 15th and runs through January 3rd.
And this is, you got all great kind of lights on the trees and everywhere. It's a real attraction.
It's really cool. The whole thing is to see trees in a new way, bring you out in a different season when people think, oh, it's cold, I don't want to be outside. It's still amazing out here. The trees have a whole nother perspective they can give you in the winter.
All right, real quick now, you guys put out a weekly update on where to see the best color here at the Arboretum. What's that called and where can we get that?
Fall Color Report comes out every Wednesday, and it's going to tell you where in our 1,700 acres and with 4,000 kinds of trees you can see good color, because with that diversity, there's always some color to be seen.
All right, the best color is either my shirt or Christy's hair. Come on out and see us for that right now. But the drone rangers are giving us such a beautiful view here. Ed and Todd showing us, just some of the spectacular color here at the Arboretum. I'm glad we were able to show you some of that.
Coming up, a long-forgotten cemetery brought back to life, the spooky river cruise in Chicago, and a fox that looks like a bat at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
You're looking at a cemetery that was completely forgotten and destroyed.
On an appropriately dark and cloudy day, we took a walk with John Kettman. Show me some of your favorite sites at Narramore.
Okay.
To visit the tiny pioneer cemetery that has been his life's work for the past 15 years.
It dates back to 1834, but I believe it goes back further.
So the people buried here are some of the first non-Native American people to live in this area?
Yes. Some of my family are here, and that's what kind of caught my eye.
Back in 2011, Kettman was researching his family's history when he learned that a distant relative had been buried in this long-forgotten cemetery in the tiny town of Kangley, surrounded on all four sides by farm fields with no public access.
I walked the perimeter of the cornfield because there was no access to anything. It was like a jungle, completely overgrown. Trees, poison ivy, snakes, you name it, it was in here.
It didn't look like this.
No, absolutely not.
But Kettman was able to see a couple grave markers jutting out of the ground, others scattered in pieces.
I can't believe what I'm seeing here. There's a bunch of people buried here, and it's just like totally destroyed. Somebody's got to do something.
Since then, Kettman and a group of volunteers have slowly cleared the cemetery of the overgrowth, erected a new entrance.
The gate is it's a day bed.
Really?
It's a day bed.
And named it Narramore, after an early property owner whose family is buried here. Most of the graves are from the mid-1800s, some of its underground residents born in the 1700s. The earliest markers, simply stones dragged up from the nearby Vermilion River.
This is a very early one, shaped like a heart. The guy went down, or the family went down in the river, and they got a rock and chipped it.
And that's a grave.
That's a grave marker.
Right there.
Yes. The indentions that are in the ground are decomposed bodies and caskets that have collapsed over years. So each one of these pits are actual burials.
Indeed, most of the headstones you see today were buried underground, victims of time and farm tractors. Kettman plunges a metal rod into the soil to find the stones.
I call this like a random poke, when you're just walking and poking.
And over the years, he has found and dug up dozens of headstones, many of them just fragments.
There's something right there.
Yep.
Not enough to be able to tell who it was.
Yeah, and it drives you crazy because you want to know who it is.
With a permit from the state, Kettman takes those fragments home and reassembles them like a jigsaw puzzle, revealing names and stories.
Here, they would carve into the stone little poems, epitaphs about the person, about their life. And it would kind of, and then the symbolism that goes on the stones would kind of like, it tells a story of each one of these people.
After recovering a buried stone, Kettman conducts hours of research, digging through historical land records, censuses, and death notices, often finding pictures of those buried here that he places next to the graves.
Well, this is my great-great-great-grandfather.
Stan Siza of Joliet was stunned when he got a call from Kettman saying he'd found the grave of James McCready, a family member who served in the Civil War.
I think it's very important. You know, it teaches younger people that, you know, this is something you should preserve and something that makes you remember and learn from the past.
There could be scores, even hundreds of these stones still underground, which is why they've now established a nonprofit so that they can keep discovering here and keep the cemetery alive.
I hope it doesn't go back to where it was. I hope that now with it having a name and people knowing about it a little more around here, that it's taken care of, whether it's me, John, whoever.
A one secret cemetery hidden no more.
You must feel a little bit at home here, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's very peaceful out here. It has its own way of, how do you say it, sucking you in.
In Kangley, Illinois, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
If you're looking for a little bit of Chicago history, but maybe because it's spooky season, you want it just a little scary, City Cruises Chicago is here for you because they have an incredible haunted river tour, whether it's maybe a rainy day, a spooky day like today, or a nice crisp fall night in Chicago. It's the perfect way to celebrate the great Halloween time of year that we have in Chicago. We have Grace Fuller, who is the GM. Grace, come on over. This cruise is perfect for those like me who love campfire tales, who love ghost stories, because, you know, in Chicago, we have a few of those.
Yes, absolutely. So we've been doing this for a number of years now. This is one of our most popular products. We're so happy to do this Thursday through Sunday in October, 5:45, 7, and 8 from our new River Dock location at NBC Tower. And this is something that is good for a lot of ages. Not too much, not too little, some Chicago stories in there, and the best views of the city.
And you guys have the best tour guides. We spoke with Ryan a little bit earlier, and the stories here, because at the end of the day, it all does come from history. A lot of these stories are spooky, a lot of them are scary, but you're kind of hiding some history, some facts in there as well.
Yes, and we offer a tour that's really, you know, it's a lot of fun. And we don't take ourselves too seriously with the tour. We just want to have a little bit of fun. We want to offer some Chicago history that's new and exciting to people too, that they've not heard before. And with this spooky season upon us, the Haunted Tour is a great option for so many guests.
Now, I gotta ask, because the only thing scarier than the stories you guys are telling is the weather you and I are experiencing right now. Is it a rain or shine kind of deal, or did we get the short end of the stick today?
You know what? We did not get the best weather today for this, but we are pretty much a rain or shine kind of deal. And it is a BYOB cruise too, so you can bring your own drinks aboard, and we'll help you out with some ponchos if it does rain. Unfortunately, you and I don't have those today.
And unfortunately, we don't have the alcohol. We didn't BYOB today, which would have made the weather a lot more endurable. Really quick, where can people find more information, schedule, tickets, and all that jazz?
citycruises.com/Chicago.
All right, guys. Grace, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Scary stories, scary history, scary weather. It's the perfect sort of live shot out here as we gear up to toss it back to you guys in the studio. I hate you guys. I hate you guys for this.
The message sits on the back of a bench. 2 words that face anyone who walks the intersection of 35th and Jefferson. And behind them, the vision of 2 Indiana University Northwest students who grew up knowing this corner of Gleason Park.
So the park was rusted over, swings were broken, it was pretty the grass was overgrown. People genuinely stayed away from this area.
As children, India Smith and Elizabeth Downey saw the downward spiral up close.
I remember when they installed it. We never came over here just to swing. We would ride our bikes more than we would swing because it was just a swing.
But they also saw the potential.
Our advisor for the Black Student Union brought it up to a group of us in the organization. And so, we really didn't think much of it because we didn't have the resources.
Until IUN Student Engagement Office connected them to Love Your Block, a City of Gary program. They submitted a proposal and won a $15,000 grant. A local connection then helped that money go further.
The gentleman who originally put the swing set in contacted us. He said, hey, I'm the one who put that in. I have a playground place here in Gary. He said, hey, this is what I have that you guys could get for under $15,000. And so with the money that we had, we were able to get the swings, the jungle gym, everything you see here.
From March to mid-July, planning turned to pieces you can touch. The pace surprised even them.
They got this done in 3 days. They were like Jesus. And I was just in amazement.
I would have never imagined myself being a part of an initiative this big and that something this impactful. So really getting to see the work actually being done aside from the blueprint was just mesmerizing.
And they did more than install equipment. They built a garden that grows with words.
This is the Kids College Kindness Garden. Kids College is a group of students, 6th through 8th grade, who come to IUN to experience college for 2 weeks. And throughout that time, I asked them to make us rocks that had either their favorite characters or inspirational quotes on them. And so this is the garden where we put a rock, take a rock. We're gonna have them come out and do this every year. And so I have a couple more that can just go down. You were so gracious to sign one for us. What does it say now?
Be encouraged to be you.
I love it.
Leaving a loving piece of yourself becomes a reminder the neighborhood is a living thing.
I'm here to show you this is what can be done when we all come together as a community. And we're actively teaching them young what a community is, what it is to volunteer, and what it is to give back.
The City of Gary repaved walkways, raised lights over the equipment, and riveted driver attention with a sign that wears a heart. The warning carries the truth. One careless second can alter a child's brightest minute. Like this father, eye to eye with his daughter, pushing her into laughter. This moment holds 2 names for Elizabeth, her daughter, who plays her now, and her father, who passed before he could see it finished.
What do you think your dad would think of all of this?
Yesterday was my dad's birthday. He is watching this, and my dad is like I am. We are not proud or prideful people, so he is taking it in stride, but I know he's happy. I know he's proud of me.
This build also needed partners beyond campus. Pastor Dexter Harris of Flourish Church brought in youth groups for the heavy work.
When we broke ground here, we didn't just break ground for a playground, but we broke into hope.
The actual name of the playground is Blossoms of Change.
The name calls out a new future. The scripture sets a charge. The project sparks momentum. Tierra Williams serves in the mayor's cabinet and sees the possibilities citywide.
I hope they feel empowered. I hope they feel like some of these things that they want to do, they have the ability to do it.
From these panels and tables, they envision additions that welcome more people and more moments.
I've been pushing for a gazebo.
We would love to see a slide.
Maybe like toddler size playground somewhere. That'd be very nice.
Like a little sandbox.
Yeah.
My daughter mentioned the seesaw thingies.
Plans grow, paint sets, paths fill. Let promise meet practice right here where the bench faces the block. Someone cares.
Halloween is just around the corner here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. You guys are ready. Today we are talking about the bat-eared fox with CEO and President Dr. Mike, and we've got to lower our voices for this animal. This is Earl. Tell me about Earl.
Yeah, so bat-eared foxes have these really big ears, which is sort of where the name comes from. But those ears are great for helping them to locate the food items that they rely on in the wild. So they actually eat mostly bugs, a lot of termites, other ants and small insects. And they use those ears to help locate them. And then those ears also play a huge role in just helping them maintain their body temperature. So it's a great way to radiate heat off of these big ears out in the hot climates where they live.
And where can you find them?
So they're in eastern and southern Africa, pretty wide distribution, sort of savanna grassland type of habitats.
You have two of them here, Minerva and Earl,
Yes.
a boy and a girl. And at the top of their habitat, it almost looks like the night sky.
Yeah, so they are nocturnal in the wild. So a little bit of a reversed daytime, nighttime situation that we're seeing right now. But part of what we have going on here is one of our animal care specialists is just doing some general training with them. So this is the type of work that we do with a lot of our animals. It's all positive reinforcement. So the animal chooses to engage, gets a food reward, and you can see just a variety of different behaviors being asked here that are largely aimed at helping us just make sure that our animals are staying healthy. So making sure that we can see all of the different parts of their body, that we can look in their mouth, that we can get them to move into a area if we need to get a closer look at something.
And where can you find them here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago?
So they're in the fragile desert here at the zoo with a number of other African grassland type of animals.
All right, come visit them here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
Coming up, the soccer player taking down records in Illinois, a professional pumpkin carver's incredible creations, and a choir mesmerizing Chicagoland.
This is unbelievable. The IHSA has a new all-time leader in soccer goals. We are talking about Beecher's Wences Baumgardner, who joins us here in studio this morning. Wences, congratulations to you. I mean, did you know you were pursuing this record at all, or was this news to you as well?
It was news to me at the start of this season. I didn't even think it was something that was possible until someone had shared with me an article saying that it was in reach, and I was like, wow. So definitely.
What? Okay, so tell us how many goals you have scored and roughly how many games it has taken you.
I've scored roughly 184, I think is the count right now. And I'd say game-wise, maybe 70.
70? So we're talking about like 3 goals-ish per game?
Yeah.
This man is a cheat code. He is a cheat code. Okay, what kind of reaction have you gotten from your teammates on this? How is the community reacting to this one?
That's definitely an advantage of being in a small town. Everybody knows word spreads fast, and there's not a time where I haven't gone out and someone's asked me, hey, how's your game go yesterday? Or how many goals are you at now? So I'm definitely thankful for all that support.
Okay, can you give us any insight into your mindset during a match? Okay, so you're on the offensive side of the ball. Does that mean midfield? Does it mean a forward?
I'm a forward.
Okay, you're a forward. What's the difference between a forward and a striker? I'm not a. Is it
They're the same thing.
Same thing. Okay. We're good. Now, what's your mindset? And do you have I don't know, any insight you can provide our novice viewers to how you are such a good goal scorer?
I think it's all about right positioning. So all I'm thinking about is where can I be to get this ball in the net. So just when other teammates have the ball, I'm just positioning myself in the right position to score the ball.
Okay, so you move well away from the ball.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any strategies like where you're hitting it on your foot or anything like that?
I think it all depends. It's very situational. So there's like certain instances where I'll use the inside of my foot, certain instances where I'll use like the top part, the laces is what they call.
The laces.
Yeah.
And does it get that bend?
The laces, I'd say, is more of a power shot, I'd say.
A power shot.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Wences Baumgartner sets the IHSA record for most goals ever scored. Have you been playing varsity like ever since you were a freshman then?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've been playing soccer since age what about?
5-ish.
About age 5. You're 17 now, so 12 years. We got to ask what's next for you, man. I mean, do you have eyeballs on you as you head to college?
I haven't, like I said, I haven't committed anywhere or anything, so right now it's just education. So I'm trying to get in the best business school I can and seeing if I can walk on there.
Smart man.
We're coming up on Halloween time. Pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin bread. It's the magical time of year when pumpkins become the star of the show. And joining us this morning is a master pumpkin carver who transforms ordinary gourds into extraordinary works of art. Mark Solomon is joining us. We got to meet last year out on the plaza. Mark,
Yes,
welcome back again.
Thank you.
You know, we've talked about your artwork, which is absolutely fantastic. He's only been maybe 20, 30 minutes tops so far on this.
About 40 minutes,
Yeah. When did you realize that you had a skill for this?
Oh, I didn't. Other people told me.
All right. But you had to start at some point, Mark.
30 years ago, my wife brought home one of those Pumpkin Master you can carve books with the 4 little tools, which I still use today, not those exact ones because I've broken them. But and every year she would challenge me to do something bigger, something more. And so as time went by, I was in the news. I was hired by Brookfield Zoo. I got on TV a few times.
Yes. Happy to show your work here. Yeah.
I've carved an 800-pound pumpkin for a high-end appliance company up in Wisconsin. I carved a pumpkin on the hangar deck of the USS Intrepid.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't plan any of this. This just sort of...
But you have to have some kind of artistic skill and vision. This doesn't happen because your wife gave you a $12 pumpkin carving kit. Did you do like painting before or anything artistic?
No, I'm not an artist in any way. I'm a software developer.
Well, you're a heck of a software developer / pumpkin carver.
Yes.
We're obviously looking at some of your elaborate designs here. You know, what if somebody wanted to start out like you did with, you know, just a very simple kit? What are some of the tools that you can use for somebody that says, you know, I could probably do that. Mark says he can do that. I can do it too. What would you recommend?
For just straight out cutting holes in the pumpkin, the Pumpkin Master kits are. Those blades are very good to use. I've moved on. These are tools for...
that almost looks like for shaving.
Well, shaving clay and ceramic, you know. And then I use, this is a speedball. It's used for linoleum cutting. So a lot of the tools I borrow from wherever I could find them. And as you can tell from the orangeness of a lot of my tools.
They're stained?
No, they're designed for pumpkins.
Oh, because of the orange color. That's how you know. Don't buy one with a green handle on it. You gotta go orange.
Well, just as a habit, they tend to color it orange, which is good because against my black tablecloth, I could see it. One of my favorite tools is this black handle tool, and frequently when I'm working, I usually have a black tablecloth on, and I lose it in the tablecloth.
Do you have like a preferred pumpkin vendor? Where are you getting your pallets here that you're...
Yeah, there's a couple people. There's one in, I think he's in Caledonia, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Kyle's Corn and Pumpkins is one of my favorites. And then there's another one out in near South Elgin here in
Kane County. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then are you looking for a specific shape with a pumpkin?
Yes.
All right.
This is either an Atlantic Giant or a prize winner. Those are the 2 breeds I'm looking for.
Okay.
They're known for their large size. They're known for the smoothness of their skin. And actually, when they get this big, the skin is somewhat soft. The small pumpkins, I find, are very tough to carve.
Okay, so this is a softer material to kind of carve through there. Okay, and
I want one that stands up. I don't want to have to lean it against anything. This one, if you notice, the stem is on the bottom.
Yeah,
because that's the way it stands.
Ah, okay, smart.
I am super excited about what we have here. These beautiful young ladies from the Southland College Prep Girls Ensemble. You excited to be here? Yeah! Okay, all right. I know they're going to sing and they're going to be very demure in just a moment, but I want to get hyped just for a second here. They have been singing all over town. They sang at the Rate. They have also been chosen by the White Sox fans to sing the national anthem there. So it's all a demonstration of the value of hard work, commitment, and of course some talented young ladies here.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, you put a tear in my eye.
This has been your Fox 32 Week in Review. See you next time.